What if the person who saved your life wasn't a hero in a suit or a fairy tale prince, but a tired single dad just trying to make it through another day? Stay with me, because this story starts with a wedding, and ends with a life completely rewritten. And before we dive in, if you enjoy emotional, life-changing stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring you more stories that touch the heart. The morning was perfect in the way only expensive mornings can be. Sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows of a luxury hotel suite, glinting off crystal chandeliers and silk curtains. Stylists moved like shadows, whispering and adjusting, while a bride sat motionless in front of a mirror worth more than most cars. Her name was Isabella Monroe, and by nightfall she was supposed to become Mrs. Isabella Hale, wife to one of the most powerful men in the financial world. The wedding had been called the event of the decade. Politicians, celebrities, billionaires, everyone who mattered would be there. Everyone except the one person Isabella needed most, herself. As the stylist fastened the diamond necklace around her neck, Isabella's reflection stared back at her like a stranger. Her smile was practiced, perfect, empty. Her hands trembled slightly in her lap. No one noticed. They were too busy admiring the gown, the jewels, the future everyone assumed she wanted. But inside, Isabella felt like she was suffocating. Each breath felt borrowed. Each second pulled her closer to a life she had not chosen, only accepted. 3 floors below, in the hotel's underground parking garage, a very different morning was unfolding. Daniel Carter wrestled with a stuck car door while his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, kicked her legs impatiently from the back seat. Daniel was a single dad, a widower, and exhaustion clung to him like a second skin. He worked 2 jobs, one as a part-time delivery driver, another fixing things for people who never remembered his name. Today was supposed to be simple. Drop Lily at her temporary daycare, make a delivery to the hotel, and get back on the road. Simple never meant easy. "Daddy, are we late?" Lily asked, her voice small but hopeful. "Just a little, Peanut," Daniel said, forcing a smile. "But we'll make it." He grabbed the delivery box, unaware that the next few minutes would change his life forever. Upstairs, Isabella finally broke. As her mother adjusted her veil and murmured about appearances and expectations, Isabella stood abruptly. Her chest tightened, her vision blurred. She shook her head, tears spilling freely now. "I can't do this," she whispered. Her mother froze. "Don't be ridiculous. This is everything we worked for." Isabella's voice cracked as years of silence shattered. "This is everything you worked for. Not me." She ran. Down corridors lined with gold and marble, past startled guests and staff, Isabella fled barefoot, clutching the heavy dress that suddenly felt like chains. Her heart pounded as she reached the service elevator. She didn't know where she was going, only that she couldn't stay. The elevator doors opened to the parking garage just as Daniel stepped out of his car. He nearly dropped the box when he saw her. A bride, crying, running toward him like he was the only solid thing left in the world. "Please," Isabella gasped, grabbing his arm. "Help me. I don't know who else to ask." Daniel stared, stunned. His first instinct was to step back. This screamed trouble. Rich people trouble. Dangerous trouble. But then he saw her eyes. Not wealth. Not power. Fear. Pure, desperate fear. "Daddy." Lily peeked out the window. Isabella followed Daniel's gaze, her breath hitching. "I'll do anything," she said. "Please. I just need to get away." Daniel swallowed hard. He thought of Lily, of bills, of staying invisible. Then he thought of the woman who had once begged him to be brave when life demanded it, his late wife. He opened the car door. "Get in," he said quietly. Now, they drove. At first, neither spoke. Isabella curled in on herself in the back seat, clutching Lily's stuffed bear that Lily had wordlessly handed her. Tears soaked the satin of her dress. Daniel's hands shook on the steering wheel as he navigated traffic, half expecting security to surround them at any moment. After 10 minutes that felt like hours, Daniel pulled into a quiet, nearly empty park on the edge of the city. He turned off the engine. "You're safe for now," he said. Isabella let out a sob so deep it seemed to come from the center of her soul. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what you just did." Daniel exhaled slowly. "You want to tell me what's going on?" And she did. Sitting on a cracked park bench, still in her wedding gown, Isabella told him everything. How she'd inherited billions after her father's death. How every decision since then had been made for her, who she dated, what she wore, who she married. How the man she was supposed to wed wasn't cruel, just cold, ambitious, and uninterested in her as a person. How she felt like an asset, not a human being. I don't know who I am without all of it, she admitted. But I know I can't live like that anymore. Daniel listened without judgment. He didn't see a billionaire. He saw a trapped soul. When she finished, silence settled between them. You know, he said finally, I used to think life was about having control. Then my wife got sick. And all that control disappeared. What I learned is, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away, even when it costs you everything. Isabella looked at him like no one ever had. Not as Isabella Monroe the billionaire. But as Isabella, the woman. News of the missing bride exploded within hours. Helicopters hovered. Security teams searched the city. Daniel knew it was only a matter of time before they were found. That night, he offered Isabella something no one else ever had, a couch in his small, worn apartment. It wasn't glamorous. The heater rattled. The couch sagged. But Isabella slept deeper that night than she had in years. Days turned into weeks. Isabella cut her hair, traded designer clothes for thrift store jeans, and learned how to cook pasta without staff hovering nearby. She insisted on paying rent, but Daniel refused. Instead, she helped Lily with homework, cleaned, laughed. For the first time, Isabella felt real. But the past doesn't disappear so easily. One evening, men in suits waited outside Daniel's building. Lawyers, representatives, an offer. Come back. The wedding could be reframed. The scandal contained. Her billions secured. Isabella looked at Daniel, fear and temptation warring in her eyes. I don't know if I can survive without it, she admitted. Daniel took her hands, steady and warm. You survived with it, he said softly. Now ask yourself, did you live? That night, Isabella made her choice. She walked away from the empire. The legal battles were brutal. She lost most of her fortune. The media mocked her. Friends vanished. There were days she cried in the bathroom, wondering if she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. Daniel was there through all of it. Not as a savior. As a partner. Months later, Isabella opened a small nonprofit supporting women trapped in abusive or controlling environments. She used what remained of her wealth, not to dominate, but to serve. Daniel left one of his jobs, joining her to help manage logistics. For the first time, he wasn't just surviving. He was building something meaningful.